Wow, this is a big theater.
We're okay.
At least you're not wearing heels and you're like...
Yeah. Alright, what a picture. There's more going on in the end credits of this movie than there are in most other films I've seen this year. That was intense. Thank you so much for being here. Just let's get right into it. Kristen, you said that there are voices that help you find yours, and clearly Lidia Yuknavitch's story, was one of those for you. What drew you to her book? What was your first interaction with the book, and what about it sort of grabbed hold of you?
Definitely the shape of it. It's like, when it lands hard, it feels still somewhat incongruent with the way that we're supposed to sort of prescriptively tell people how we've learned how to be people. It's definitely an invitation to kind of find new terms for not just the things that happen to you, but the things you want to make happen. There was the book's shape, of course, there are themes and plot points that I find to be usually avoided because I have no idea how many, I'm sure maybe there are some of you here, how often I hear oh, it's really tough. I'm yeah, but the thing is, how difficult it is to sort of dig into this prison that is the female body and actually take out something that is of your own design versus what you're expected to sort of deliver in order to be successful. It's lifelong work, and the book's shape emulated that kind of experience versus, it's about a swimmer who escapes an abusive home and finds solace through art and the metaphor of water. It's so much more than that. It's about everyone's fingerprint matters. It's we're all, this is gonna sound so gay, we're all fucking snowflakes, man. And you definitely can, and if you push your own buttons, you're gonna push many other people's buttons. And the ones that have been embedded in us, whether or not you've been fucked by your dad, the imagery that is shoved in our faces, the things that we are really told to be and to want, that's not what we want. And it takes a long time to figure out what that is, and I was just fuck, I want to make a movie about wanting things that I actually want. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. I'm so glad you did. I think you're someone who, you've been on camera, on screen since you were a child. You could theoretically go on a streaming service and see your entire life sort of play out before your eyes, and so these video memories. And here in your first movie, you're processing Lidia's life through the language of cinema. Her memories are jump cuts, her memories are resolves. I mean, it's the fabric of cinema itself. Were you able to sort of relate to the process of constructing a life through the material celluloid in any way? Is that too high-minded, or was that something that an intrinsic pull for the story for you?
Yeah, no, we didn't shoot on 16 because I wanted it to be grainy and nostalgic. It's because there's so much space in between every frame. There's so much time that you can put your own life into, and it kind of enforces an elliptical experience where you go there were times where we rolled out and the scene was over and it was the best take and it's the one that we chose, and so we cut the second half of the scene, which is really the movie doesn't have any scenes in it, but sometimes there's a sort of one picture, one sound, or one smell that is the whole memory, and everything that comes before and after it's gone. And so if I were to have to make those choices all of the time, it would feel contrived. And so and also you stand at attention when you shoot on film. Everyone's on their fucking tippy toes. You can hear the purr of the camera. I know it sounds that sounds like a nerd thing to say, but it's you can hear it working with you. And it's just a lot of pictures. It's a photo album. If we just recorded everything, you would be inundated with so much information that you wouldn't be able to put yourself in the movie. And it should feel like a scrapbook that's ripped up and floating down a river. You know what I mean? It shouldn't feel like something that's easy to grasp. And so the deprivation of information is why you can be like, that's mine.
Imogen is one of my favorite actresses, and for a long time. I'm so grateful to you above everything else just for giving her a role that she can utterly body, like the way that she did here. What was it about her audition that just connected with you, that immediately when you saw her, you were like, okay, this could be my Lidia?
Dude, I've wanted to work with Imogen forever. There's so many, like, really, like, deeply profound overlap, mutual friends stuff. And she's the best thing she's the best part of everything that she's in, and like, you know when there are people that you're like, fuck, I like her so much. And I've never met her before. And then like it wasn't about anything that she did in the audition. I mean, I guess so, but more that it was like that she wanted to do it. And the script was like, you know, really difficult for a lot of people to trust. And she was just like so steadfast and sure, and like, I guess it was just like a really good instinct because I didn't know that we were gonna have this. Like, this got really dope, but like, we didn't know what was gonna happen.
I know, we always said to each other, like, imagine if we just, because we just trusted that, but it would have been a nightmare if we hadn't even liked one another. But we did.
Imogen had to play a writer, she had to play 17, she had to play 40, everything in between. She had to play a kind of like rendering of a person, also not Lidia Yuknavitch. She had to play everyone and herself. The only way that you could ever access everyone is to be so kind of like self-obsessed and to realize that like no one's really that special. So like, you know, fuck a biopic. This was about seeing someone at a certain stage of their life when it was like, we don't want to hide anymore and we can hear each other. And so therefore, you can have a little bit more faith in like your own instincts. And that's what happens when you meet the right people. And that's what happens when you meet your sort of like heart heroes, as Lidia refers to like Ken Kesey and Kathy Acker, the different people that she bounces off of. Our voices sound good together. And I was like, what? That's done. We're fucking in. And we're in for life. Like, we're gonna work together forever.
It makes me really happy to hear. I also want to say, another thing that makes me really happy to hear is someone saying fuck a biopic, especially very weird, because, anyway.
Some of them are
yeah, I guess so, but, you know, it's because you're messing with what's expected. Imogen,
Dude, I was like flying.
I know, you're a big fan. Imogen, your performance, you know, as she was saying, is incredible for the range it covers, and also just the consistency in that every scene, no matter what the context, we wholly believe you as Lidia in that moment, which I imagine has an extraordinary degree of difficulty beyond just the subject matter, but because of the form of the film and how fragmented and staccato it is. There are very few scenes in sort of the proper definition of the word that are allowed to play out with the linearity that we sort of expect. Was it difficult for you to get into those moments and finding like a congruity in the character in those little snippets of time?
Well, it's kind of cool because, as you say, it's fragmented, and the chance to play a character from a teenager into sort of early 40s was like, so many actors have the appetite for that, and we don't always get to do it. And of course, we're all the same ages all the time. Like, we're still 18, we're still, when you're 80, you expect to see yourself looking like you were in your 30s. Like, I think the beauty of that was actually to have the span of this character and have those interstitial moments which you just thread, you know, psychologically. But really great reference points to remember that there's some added, there's some access points that are more readily available in a scene where perhaps the character, I'm thinking specifically of the one with Kim Gordon, and in that situation, you consider that person when they were 12, and you're sort of just, there's something that's far more connected, like the electrical pylons, you know, of a person's life. It was actually very cool. It never felt fragmented. It actually felt linear in a way that was very important.
Well, because there's no present tense in the movie, so there's never a point where you're like, oh, I'm younger now, or and now this is a flashback. There's like not a flashback in the movie, so like. Also, like, that's impossible. Like, I have so many notes in my script that was like, are you sure that Amy should play her at 16? Are you sure? are you sure? It's like the idea now of someone stepping in with like blonde hair and like we paint a mole on the right spot of the face. I'm like, this is not what it's about. Like, you know, like time is not a flat circle.
It's funny because you never think about it, at least for me, I never think about it once while watching the movie, the fact that she is playing all these rings, she's always just in the present. I mean, that is what sort of anchoring your time, it's just in performance in every even fragment. But you know, for Imogen, this isn't really a story about what happens to Lidia so much as a story about how she processes those experiences. And as Kristen was saying earlier, it's sort of, you know, this eruptive rejection of all the ways that, you know, female self-image has been policed over the years. And it feels to me...
Since like forever.
Yes. I mean, when I say over the years,
yeah.
since the dawn
every
of...
year that's ever been.
Yes, every year. That counts. But did it feel like not just a matter of having permission to be so raw and vulnerable in the story, you felt sort of an obligation to, that it would be a disservice to Lidia if you didn't feel like you were just blasting, you know, in defiance of everything, every cage that had ever been put on a character like that?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it was, going into it, we just knew it was going to be like that. And of course, filmmaking is kind of like Jackson Pollock, you know, just hurling paint and hoping that it lands. But I think going into it, we knew how hard it was going to be.
And what a fucking delight!
Yeah, and the stakes were high though. The stakes were high because we didn't want to let each other down as well, because we knew what we had to kind of try and get close to. And the most interesting thing about that with a character like this is that the events that occur early in her life, which obviously Kristen so tenderly and uniquely told, and I'm talking specifically about the abuse from her father, it's really a story of how someone reacts to the things that have happened to them, and often that's far more interesting than the actual event. And her way of understanding where the responsibility is, because it's not her responsibility what happened to her. Someone's created a problem for her to solve, and it's sort of watching a person attempt to solve that for their entire life, and occasionally succeeding past the point, but most of the time sabotaging. And so I think in terms of the exposure of a person like that and how raw it is, it's that. It's every single time you just get far enough and then you're confronted again with the truth of what your life has been thus far.
Mm. And I'm afraid we only have one more question, but I did want to just bring Lidia sort of herself into it. Kristen, and ask you what your relationship with her has been like, what her response to the film has been, and to what degree you were sort of interfacing with her in the process of making it.
For me, it was like all about approval. I really wanted her to like it. And so when I was writing it, like I was kind of always prematurely being like, look at this scene, look. And she's been so, really like, this woman's lived so many lives, and she's such a sort of cagey little forest animal. And the idea of, I'm sorry. She, like, first of all, she hasn't seen the movie yet. And she's now finally, like, ready to. And it has taken a minute. And I think she totally recognizes that the reason that the movie should exist is, like, not to be totally faithful to the, like, sort of exacting elements of, you know, what, like, the events that comprise her life. And much more that she's such a good teacher. And she really understands. I mean, the book is about how writing can, I wish that we had better words for like less, I wish this sounded like less of a platitude, but like how writing really can set you free and sort of introduce you to the idea that your life is like malleable and reality is absolutely in all of our hands to shape, because, I mean, Jesus Christ, reality is sort of broken right now and always has been. And like, she's so nice to us. And I think it's probably a lot to hold. Watching, well, I guess what I started saying is, I think she's so supportive of the fact that the movie is about what she did. Like, it's about what she says about writing, about like selfhood and excavating voice, and the reason for that voice being buried is not your fault. And so like, whenever I say that it's not a movie about Lidia, but it's a movie about us all, it's not because I'm like kind of negating the personal. Because women are always negated for expressing the personal and making something overtly diaristic. It becomes narcissistic and small art, and this is fucking not this. the book is fucking high art. It is so unleashing. I can't wait for her to see the movie, and like she's just one of those people, like the choir thing. She's one of those people that kind of I don't want to sound redundant, but like she's just like fucking tossing keys into huge, vast oceans, audiences of people who are like, should I express myself? Like, should I maybe write something? And she's like, absolutely. And she can barely, like, she's socially speaking, like when we met, we didn't shake hands. She like poked me. But yet, look what she does on the page. Like, holy shit. Anyway, so she hasn't seen the movie. I can't wait for her to see it, and I love her so much.
I think she's going to be really gratified by something self-awakening in this way. I'm sure she's going to love it. Thank you so much, Imogen.